I have been married for 25 years. I always believed I was living well, grateful for the small joys in life. But 2 weeks ago, I discovered something that shattered me. My husband has a son with another woman overseas, conceived through artificial insemination. The child is now 1 year old, and I found documents showing he has been secretly sending large sums of money to support them. My husband doesn't know that I've uncovered the truth. Quietly, I have started looking for a divorce lawyer. We never had children of our own, though we tried artificial insemination 3 times without success. I can understand that he may have longed for children who resembled him, but hiding this from me for 3 years feels deeply immoral. I once confronted him after reading messages between him and the woman. When I asked, "What is this?" he only replied, "It's not what you think." I told him, "If you want to be a father or live with another woman, just say so." He denied it firmly, insisting, "That's not the case." To this day, I still don't know if the woman is simply a surrogate or his lover. What I do know is that he has been sending her significant amounts of money, our money, part of our shared assets. Without my knowledge, I have been contributing to a second family. I never expected my husband to be perfect, and I never thought living with him was unbearable. But the fact that he lied to me for 3 long years is the deepest betrayal of all.
Okay, let's get into it. Imagine this. You spend a quarter of a century building something, 25 years.
Yeah.
Shared memories, the little everyday things. You think you have this solid foundation, and then just like that, you discover it wasn't just cracked. It wasn't even maybe what you thought it was.
It just vanishes.
Exactly. It dissolves because, well, turns out there was this whole other life being built in secret parallel to yours.
It's really something. What we're looking at today is, it's like the architecture of a really long-term, very sophisticated secret.
Right.
Today's letter, it maps out the complete collapse of a 25-year marriage.
Ah.
And it happened fast, following a revelation that, bang, immediately led to seeking legal help.
Instantly. No hesitation.
None. So our task, as we look at this account, isn't just about the emotional gut punch. It's about dissecting the betrayal itself.
How it was constructed.
Precisely.
Oh.
The timeline, the deception piece by piece, the emotional background driving it, and critically, the money. The actual financial mechanics of keeping a secret this big.
And the setting, it feels so normal, almost tragically stable beforehand. The writer mentions looking back on 25 years and feeling like she was living well. Grateful for the small joys. This wasn't some marriage already falling apart, you know?
No, quite the opposite, it seems.
It sounds like the kind of partnership you'd think was rock solid, which makes the discovery feel like a massive earthquake, right? Not just a little tremor.
Absolutely. And we really have to start with that shared history, the context.
Yeah.
Especially the sadness they apparently carried together.
The children part.
Yes.
Yeah.
They really wanted children. Today's letter mentions 3 attempts at artificial insemination AI, all unsuccessful within the marriage.
Right.
And that shared struggle, that failure, it's important because it creates this backdrop of vulnerability, a shared longing.
Oh, absolutely. That kind of shared grief and hope, it creates such a huge emotional space, doesn't it?
It does.
And what really stands out is the wife's immediate empathy, even now, thinking back. She says she could understand his potential desire for children who resembled him.
A deep recognition there.
Exactly. She got the why on some level, but there was zero sign, absolutely no warning, that he was already taking methodical steps to make that happen somewhere else, outside the marriage.
And that acknowledgement of his potential feeling, it really sets up the core offense here. The timing, the sheer length of the deception.
Yeah.
The final discovery, the one that blew everything up, that only happened 2 weeks ago, based on the letter.
So recent.
Very. But the secret itself, that's been going on for 3 years. 3 years, back to when the child was conceived.
Wow.
So the lying, the act of concealment, wasn't a reaction to the child's birth. It started before that. It was a 3-year project.
That 3-year mark is just,
Wow.
It's crucial. It tells you this wasn't some, momentary lapse or a sudden mistake.
Not impulsive at all.
No, this was planned, calculated deceit that started while they were still, presumably, sharing everything, their home, their life, their finances. So when we talk about the betrayal, it's not just the event, it's the sustained effort, the operational security almost required to maintain that fake reality for so long.
That's a really good way to put it. The psychological load alone.
Yeah.
Imagine performing normalcy day in, day out for 3 years.
While running a whole other life overseas.
It's immense. It shifts the whole thing from maybe a moral failing to something more like a long-term manipulation of trust, using the partner's trust against them.
And here's where the secret truth starts to echo their own shared history, but in this really cruel, twisted way.
Right.
The child, it's a son, he's 1 year old now, living overseas with another woman.
Right.
And the method used to conceive this child, artificial insemination, the exact same technology they tried together and failed with.
Oof, that detail is chilling.
Isn't it?
That technological parallel, it's deeply disturbing. It means he didn't just, step outside the marriage.
No.
He took the blueprint of their deepest shared desire, their biggest pain point, and used their shared knowledge of AI to create this secret family.
It feels like it moves beyond just infidelity. It's like emotional and intellectual plagiarism almost, designed to hide what he was doing.
Yeah, mimicry for concealment, that's sharp.
So the emotional history is obviously vital, but the part that makes this a systemic violation, something you can almost quantify, that's the money.
Yes. Let's focus on the financial angle.
Yeah.
That's really the core of the shared asset betrayal here.
How does she find out?
Through documents. It's often the paper trail, isn't it? The weak link in these long-term secrets.
Always.
She found proof, evidence that he'd been secretly sending large sums of money overseas for support for this other family.
And that phrase, large sums of money, you have to immediately ask, where did it come from?
Exactly.
And the letter is clear. Our money, part of our shared assets. This wasn't like some secret stash she had from before they were married.
No, this was marital property, accumulated during the marriage. Money meant for their shared future, their life together.
That immediately brings up the whole legal side of things, right? The duty partners have to each other financially.
It absolutely does. Marital fiduciary duty. It's a legal concept, but basically when you're married, you have an obligation to act in the best financial interest of your partner and the marriage itself.
Okay.
So systematically taking communal funds money for their retirement, maybe their house payments, their shared life, and secretly sending it elsewhere.
To fund a hidden family.
It's not just morally wrong, it's a quantifiable breach of that duty. It's potentially financial fraud within the marriage.
You have to wonder about the mechanics, though. How did he do it for 3 years? Was he hiding it in business expenses, just big wire transfers, hoping she wouldn't notice?
Today's letter doesn't specify the exact method, just large sums. But the fact that significant amounts of shared money moved for 3 years without her knowing, it definitely suggests a conscious effort to disguise those transfers.
Yeah.
Maybe laundered through something like you said, an investment, a fake invoice.
Could be anything.
The how can be complex, but the impact, it's crystal clear. The wife realizes she's been unknowingly, essentially forced to fund her own betrayal.
Contributing to a second family without her knowledge. That phrase from the letter is brutal.
It is. She wasn't just lied to. She was made a financial participant against her will. That's the theft, really. A theft of resources and agency.
But okay, beyond the money, which is huge, let's go back to the lie itself, the sheer persistence. She actually almost found out before, didn't she? Read some messages.
Yes, it was a prior incident, a near miss. She found messages between him and the other woman.
And the letter gives us the dialogue, which really cements how systematic the denial was.
It does. She asked him straight up, "What is this?"
Direct question.
And his response, instant minimization, deflection. "It's not what you think."
Classic. And then she gives him an out, an opportunity to be honest. She says, basically, if you want to be a father or live with someone else, just tell me.
She acknowledged the possibility, right? The underlying desire they both knew about from the AI failures.
Yeah.
She practically invited transparency.
Yeah. She laid it out on the table.
And his response, a hard denial, that's not the case. Firm insistence.
Wow.
That moment, denying it when directly confronted, when offered a chance for truth. That's where the deception becomes maybe unforgivable for her. He chose the lie.
It explains why her pain now seems centered squarely on the deception, the 3 years of lying, more than the child or the other woman.
Exactly.
But let me just push back for a second. Play devil's advocate. Given that emotional context, the failed AI, the deep desire for a child he might have felt resembled him, could he argue he was just trying to fulfill something the marriage couldn't provide? Does that soften it at all?
It's a potential psychological motive, absolutely. That longing is real. But does it mitigate the actions? I don't think the systematic nature allows for that defense. Well, if it was purely about fulfilling that lack, maybe the conversation happens after the first failed AI attempt or the second, Where are other options?
An honest discussion.
The fact that he used shared money, hid it for 3 years, involved another person overseas, and then lied point blank when caught. That shows it wasn't about minimizing pain. It was about maintaining his own parallel track, using their shared resources without her knowledge or consent. It seems more about convenience and control than shared sorrow.
That makes sense. And what's also striking is the ambiguity that still exists for her even now. Even after finding proof of the child, the money, she still doesn't know the exact nature of the other woman's role. Is she simply a surrogate or his lover?
The lie was so complete, it seems, that the full picture of this secret life is still hidden from the person most affected by it.
That lack of clarity itself feels like another layer of the betrayal, doesn't it? Ongoing control, almost.
It really does. And the wife's own words sum it up perfectly. She says she never expected perfection. Their life wasn't terrible. But the fact that he lied to me for 3 long years is the deepest betrayal of all. That confirms it. For her, the marriage didn't die because of an affair or even the existence of the child.
It died from the cover-up.
It died from the prolonged, deliberate, calculated deception that poisoned every shared moment of those last 3 years.
So we've traced the possible motive, the technology used, the financial breach. What happens now? What are the immediate consequences described?
The consequence, according to today's letter, is swift and final. There's no period of shock and bargaining here.
No, let's talk about it.
Apparently not. The discovery triggered an immediate, decisive action. She has already, quietly, started looking for a divorce lawyer.
Quietly. That's significant.
Very. It signals the trust is so utterly destroyed, there's nothing less to negotiate. The 25-year marriage is over. Decision made.
Wow. That silence, that immediate move towards legal action, it speaks volumes about the depth of the trust annihilation. So for you listening, the key takeaways here paint a really specific picture of how a long-term relationship can implode. You have this potent mix, a powerful shared emotional longing for a child they couldn't have together. Then the technological means AI to secretly achieve that goal.
Underwritten by a serious breach of financial trust, using their shared money.
All hidden by 3 years of active, determined denial, even when confronted. It's quite the destructive recipe.
And this story, it offers a really important insight into partnership breakdown, I think. It shows that the ultimate damage often isn't the initial act itself, the imperfection or the mistake.
It's the cover-up again.
It's the deliberate, systematic exploitation of shared resources, our money, our time, our trust to maintain a secret. That systematic betrayal is what truly shreds the fabric of the partnership contract.
So here's a final thought for you to maybe reflect on after hearing this account. Given that they went through the hope and trauma of AI together,
Yes.
does his later solo use of that exact same technology overseas make the betrayal feel sharper? Does it feel like a deliberate mocking of their shared history, or just using a tool he knew?
That's a deep question. Does it amplify it?
And how does the financial the fact that her money unknowingly funded this secret life, shift the betrayal from purely emotional to something tangible, practical, almost a theft? Does that change how you perceive the core violation? Something to consider.